Good morning, everyone. This is the April 2nd business meeting of the Arkansas State Highway Commission. I'm Chairman Philip Taldo. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Before we get officially started, some general reminders for everyone who may be speaking or presenting at today's meeting. Please make sure you speak directly as possible into the microphone to ensure your audio is picked up well. Also, we are also live streaming this meeting, and we want it to sound clear as possible. Thank you. Got a little music going here today. That takes us to our first order of business, which is approving the minutes from our previous meeting. Commissioners, I trust that you all have taken a minute to review the minutes from our February 19 commission meeting. If there aren't any questions, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. Now I have the honor of introducing a very special guest. In February, we were planning to recognize the teamwork exhibited by our RDOT maintenance workers who went to Louisiana in January and worked alongside their Department of Transportation crews to help with snow and ice removal from Winter Storm Enzo. Did I pronounce that right, Enzo? But that got delayed because we had winter weather here in Arkansas to deal with early in February. So this morning we have joining us Joe Donahue, the Secretary of the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development. Secretary Donahue, welcome to Arkansas and welcome to the meeting.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. And it is my great honor to be here today. And wanted to definitely get over here and personally express my gratitude for the assistance that the state of Arkansas and RDOT provided to the citizens of the state of Louisiana. In January, we were facing a pretty much hopeless situation with unprecedented weather events once in a lifetime, both immense snowfall on the Gulf Coast and low temperatures that were record-setting as well. While SDOT, State Departments of Transportation, helping each other is not unprecedented, what I am unaware of ever having occurred before is the preemptive offer of assistance that we received when Director Wiley, my very, very good friend, Director Wiley, reached out and offered to help us in what was, again, a very dire circumstance. And I just cannot speak enough about how grateful we are and about the integrity and the graciousness of the RDOT employees that came down to assist us. And so I know that you have a lot of business that you have to conduct. I'm not going to belabor the point. I've told Jared thank you so many times that he's probably sick of hearing it. But also want to give you the opportunity to hear from DOTD's Assistant Secretary of Operations, Todd Donmeyer, who was actually on the ground working with those RDOT employees. And so with that, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure if you're going to introduce Todd, but
go ahead.
Todd, go ahead and come up. Thank you all very much.
Good morning, everyone. Out of respect for everyone's time, I too will try to keep my comments brief. First and foremost, I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to be here today to speak to this commission. I have been with LADOTD for a little over 25 years and have been involved in just about every significant weather event during that time in one capacity or another. And so I've got a pretty good idea of what our crews and forces are able to handle when it comes to these different types of events. And I can tell you that this particular event was something that, without RDOT's assistance, we would have struggled to realize any real success. And this particular event provided every opportunity for failure, and with the assistance of the RDOT crews that came down to help us, this turned out to be an overwhelming success for us. And so really want to echo the Secretary's comments and extend our gratitude and appreciation for everything. I was able to spend some time in the field, on the ground, talking with the operators, spent some time in one of the plows, clearing the Atchafalaya Basin, something that I never could have imagined that I would have the opportunity to do, especially on I-10 in South Louisiana. And so I did spend some time speaking with those operators, and they spoke with tremendous passion and dedication about the opportunity that they had to come down and help out a neighbor. And so that was really inspiring to hear from those individuals, and it meant a lot. And overall, just want to say, on behalf of myself, all of LADOTD, and the entire state of Louisiana, thank you very, very much. And Louisiana stands at the ready to extend any assistance that the state of Arkansas may need in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, Joe and Todd, thank you all for being here today. We'll see you again down in Death Valley. Is that Baton Rouge? Is that where? It's always good to know we have a strong transportation neighbors to the south. You're always welcome here at RDOT. Now we move on to the minute orders for this meeting. Commissioners, if you have any questions or comments about the minute orders, please let us know. Wave your hands, yell, jump, something, and we'll pause and we'll discuss it. With that, I'll ask Dave Parker, our head of communications.
Mr. Chairman, I got one more slide. Can I show it real quick about yesterday with these guys from Louisiana?
Well, absolutely.
We probably didn't get that in your notes here.
I was just
Thank you.
racing ahead.
Yes, sir. Would you go to that next slide?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, so I wanted to just tell you guys what happened yesterday. So Joe and his crew came down, and we had an after-action meeting between our two agencies to talk about the storm and lessons learned. And if you'll remember, we had something similar with Missouri a few years ago, and we learned a lot of tips from them in combating winter weather. So it was a great event, a great exercise. We're able to recognize those 75 men and women who made the trip south to Louisiana to help out in the storm. So we're so proud of them and all the other support staff that was here in Arkansas that helped out. And we made a hat for each one of those individuals. You have one on your table in front of you, and a winter storm Enzo pin that was developed by Lamry here in our shop. And we just appreciative of you guys for being here and feeding our crew some home cooked, legitimate Cajun food. It was great. And then these guys brought us. It's up here on display in the front. Please take a look at it before you leave. But it's a handmade. It's a replica, as you see on the screen there, of the boot between the University of Arkansas and LSU. But it's to commemorate the event, the cooperation that our two agencies experienced over this winter storm. So we're so thankful for this. We're going to proudly display this in our trophy case outside. But I want to call your attention to those silver lines on the bottom of the map. That's really neat there. Those represent the roadways that our crews worked so hard to clear for 5 days around the clock in conjunction with the LADOTD crews. So thank you guys, Joe, Barry, Todd, Chad, for being here. We appreciate your partnership and collaboration. Look forward to working with you for many more years. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, that was worth cutting me off for there.
So, thank you.
That was very good. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Now, we move on to the minute orders. Commissioners, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. With that, I will ask Dave Parker, our Head of Communications, to present the minute orders. Dave?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Beginning with minute order 1. As always, simply approves the actions of the purchasing committee. Minute order 2, authorization to procure or obtain the services of qualified consulting firms to perform the assessment of all statewide facilities and to develop a statewide facilities master plan. Minute order 3, authorization to proceed with improvements at 6 railroad crossings. Minute order 4, this is an improvement project in District 8, Pope County. This minute order gives approval to enter into necessary agreements with the City of Russellville to utilize the Railroad Highway Crossing Program funds as an incentive to close 2 railroad crossings in the city. Minute order 5. This minute order takes us to Pulaski County. Approval to purchase the property adjacent to the central office complex where we currently are to make the necessary improvements as funds become available. Minute order 6, Ashley County. This minute order calls for changing a portion of U.S. Highway 82 from a capital asset to right-of-way. Similar minute order 7 in District 6, Garland County. This is a request to change a portion of Highway 270 from capital asset to right-of-way. Minute order 8 also calls for approval to do the same thing, to change another portion or section of Highway 270 to right-of-way. This is for the purpose of a future widening project. Minute order 9, Phillips County, an improvement project. This minute order calls for the authorization to enter into necessary agreements with the Mississippi Department of Transportation for the design, construction, to rehabilitate the Highway 49 bridge over the Mississippi River as funds become available. And finally, minute order 10, District 9, Benton County. This minute order requests authorization to partner with the City of Pea Ridge, Benton County, and the Pea Ridge National Military Park for the purpose of making various improvements to the area. And that concludes the minute orders, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dave. Our next order of business will be the State Highway Financial Report. For that, I'll ask Patrick Patton, our Chief Financial Officer, to come to the podium.
Good morning. Thanks for our LA DOT people being here
Thank you very much.
as they exit. They don't want to hear me. We're going over numbers from February. March has just now come in, so we'll look at those at another day. As we look at our budgeted expenses versus actual, as you can see, all categories are under budget. Overall, we're under budget by $29.7 million or 22%. If you special allotments, if you look at that last line down there, just to tie in with the conversation with LADOT, so far we've gone through $5 million of salt that we've reimbursed the districts for so far. We've still got about $5 million left that we're thinking maybe $3 or $4 million will hit this year to replenish our salt reserves for any future events. Along with that, just to kind of give you a highlight of what we've encountered so far as expenses for winter weather for 24-25, we've cumulatively with material, salaries, all the costs that go with it, about $10.5 million has been dedicated to our winter weather events. The winter weather Enzo was just under $500,000. So, $11 million, a lot of money, but it went to help the citizens of Arkansas and LADOT also.
And just to stop you right there, so, and the LADOT did reimburse us for those costs, so we only incurred the cost of the effects of Enzo in Arkansas and Louisiana, even though we partnered with them, they were the ones who covered the cost for that. I just wanted to point that out.
Yes, correct. And Derek's working on that, I think, currently to satisfy that agreement and get that reimbursement taken care of.
Great.
So moving on to our actual revenues, our 5-year trends of actual revenues. The motor fuel, we're at 2021 levels right now. Registration fees, we're moving a little closer to 23 levels. The other category is flat, along with interest, we're flat with 24 levels. As you can see, natural gas severance has gone down. We're back to 2021 levels. Security Reserve Fund is flat. Casino revenue and state surplus will come in toward the end of the year. Just a quick note on casino revenue. Looks like as of today, the casino revenue account has $10 million in it, which goes against the 32.1 that the governor, the threshold that we have. And so roughly for this fund, it's about $43 million. So if it keeps projecting out, the governor's piece will be less than $10 million. Along with that, I want to go back to the registration fees for just 1 second. It came to our attention through a communication with the director that there was a list of electric hybrid vehicles that weren't being identified properly on the DFNA system, and we're only being charged the $100 registration fee as opposed to the $200 registration fee. Fortunately, it's only about 1,100 vehicles, which amounts to a little over $100,000, but it's still one of those things that needs to be looked into. So I'm working with DFNA right now, and we'll be following and giving updates, but they're working with their developers to work through their system that decodes the VIN number to put it in the correct category. These that are on this list, for whatever reason, did not get decoded, and so they had to do a manual process. The manual process, anytime you have human intervention, you could have errors, and so this is the result of that. The next slide, we've got our budget versus actual revenues. If you look at the top corner up there, the 547 million versus the 536, we're 10.9 million below projected budget. 9 million of that is due to the DK trading settlement, so we are right on. If that hadn't have happened, we'd be right on forecast. The motor fuel is under budget by 13 million. Amendment 101 is over by 5.9 million. The natural gas severance is over budget by almost $1 million right now. There was an article, I don't know if anybody saw it, in Arkansas Business a month or so ago. There's getting ready to be a $30 million investment in Claiborne County to start up some new wells. They've got some enhanced producing measures to make it more economical and feasible for them to start drilling again. And so there is, hope that there will be another uptick in growth of natural gas severance for us and the counties out there. This will be the first new well since 2018. Going on to consumption. Consumption, we're at 2022 levels. For gasoline and diesel is continuing to trend upward over the term. This last slide, I will next meeting we'll have another point on there for a quarter. These are done by quarter. Just gives you a trend of our motor fuel consumption by quarter. That concludes my report. Any questions?
Thank you for your report, Patrick.
Thank you all.
And with that, I will turn things over to our director, Jared Wiley. It's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up, we have Kevin Thornton, our Chief of Administration. He's going to talk about some federal and state legislative activities.
Thank you, Director Wiley. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we are nearing the end of the regular session. Originally, the session was scheduled to end on March 14, but it was extended to April 16. Now, the Speaker of the House and the Senate Pro Tem can establish the actual end of deliberation on the bills. So we expect to know more in just the next few days about when the session will begin to wrap up. If you think there's been a lot of activity during this legislative session, you are correct. To date, over 1,400 bills have been filed, which is more than the total filed in 2023 for the entire session. Throughout all of this activity, we have been successful with our legislative package. 7 of our bills have been enacted. We now have an act that ensures our ability to use green lights on our vehicles, an act that amends the driver's manual and test to include safe driving through a work zone, an act to deregulate the movement of school and office trailers, an act to modernize state law to match how contract bonds are handled, an act to change how surplus property is appraised, an act to enhance safety for mobile operations, and an act to expand our ability to use Construction Manager General Contractor, or CMGC, for project delivery. With respect to the final 2 bills, our bill that will help us to provide a dependable schedule for utility relocations on construction projects was heard by the Senate Transportation, Technology, and Legislative Affairs Committee on March 31. Senator Bryant is the sponsor of this bill. After testimony from many witnesses and discussion from the committee, Senator Bryant withdrew the bill from consideration so that it could be amended. The primary change to this bill will remove the ability of the department to withhold issuance of permits to a utility that did not or has not met the agreed-to schedule. It is expected that Senator Bryant will run the amended bill today in committee. Our last bill, which seeks to resolve questions regarding how denatured ethanol is taxed when it is used as a motor fuel, has not yet been filed, but we expect that to occur very soon. I would also like to update you on an additional bill that was not part of our legislative package. This bill, which has now been enacted, increases the payment of benefits to beneficiaries of certain public employees that are killed in the line of duty while serving in a hazardous position. It raised it from $150,000 to $250,000. Not only has the amount been increased, but this act now includes our employees that are working on our roadways. We are grateful to the legislature and to the governor for enacting this bill that provides this increased benefit. Taking a look at potential amendments to our state constitution. The Arkansas Constitution allows the legislature to include up to 3 amendments on the general election ballot. The House has narrowed their list they are considering to their top 5. The Senate has not yet taken any action on their amendments. However, we expect that the Senate State Agencies Committee will be voting on their amendments today after the Senate adjourns. 2 of the Senate amendments would impact the department. There are no amendments in the House that we believe would impact the department. Both of the Senate amendments were filed by Senator King, and they are still under consideration. One will change how future members of the Arkansas Highway Commission will be selected and confirmed, and the other one would allow the state of Arkansas to be sued in state court as a defendant. Now, turning your attention to the federal level. So far, this federal fiscal year, we have been operating under a continuing resolution, or CR. The previous CR expired on March 14. On that day, Congress passed and the President signed another CR that will provide funding until September 30, which is also the end of the 2025 federal fiscal year. So, the entire 2025 federal year will be under a CR, and we will not need an appropriations bill to keep the federal funds flowing. It is unusual for an entire year of federal funds to be provided through a CR. The last time this happened was in 2013. While most CRs only provide funding levels at the previous year's levels, this CR does include an increase in funds for 2025, and that increase will fully fund the expected IIJA levels. So that's very good news. Now, while this CR does provide full funding for 2025, it does not include any congressionally directed spending or earmarks. So, you may be wondering, what about the $140 million in congressionally directed spending that we previously discussed with you? Those funds were included in a draft 2025 appropriations or spending bill in June of 24. However, Congress did not pass that spending bill, so we did not receive the $140 million. As a reminder, this slide is a list of the funding that was included in the draft spending bill. Since the draft spending bill did not pass and the CR does not contain this funding, we do not expect to receive this funding in 2025. We will have to wait and see what Congress does with future funding bills before we will know if we will receive any additional congressionally directed spending or earmarks. I reported to you in our last meeting that some of our federal funds have been paused. The paused funding includes $42 million for National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, or NEVI, formula funds. It also includes discretionary grants, supportive services for the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, or DBE program, and our supportive services for the on-the-job training program. Pause means that we can request and receive reimbursements for funds that were previously obligated. But we cannot obligate any additional funds from these sources. The amount of paused funding from these programs include, from RAISE grants, a total of $100 million. From Bridge Improvement Program grants, $241 million. And that includes only half of the $393 or $394 million that was received by Arkansas and Tennessee for the Interstate 55 bridge replacement project. The total amount of paused fundings, including the NEVI funds here in Arkansas, is approximately $383 million. As of today, these funds are still paused. We have not received any additional guidance or instructions regarding them. We are still proceeding with the affected projects with the expectation of receiving these funds. Director Wiley, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Kevin. Any questions for Kevin? Thank you, sir. All right, next up we have Crystal Woods, our Assistant Chief of Administration, to update us on our efficiency review implementation.
Good morning.
Morning.
Today, I will be sharing 2 significant steps forward in terms of the progress we've made since your last meeting. Recommendation number 5, under the procurement category, said we should implement efficiencies in procurement and purchasing. This recommendation was split into 2 subcategories: the procurement of construction projects and the procurement of equipment and materials. We're very close to completing the section related to construction projects, and I'm happy to report the section related to equipment and materials is now fully complete. This was accomplished by updating our purchasing manual to align with our newly revised accounting manual. Recommendation number 9, under the information technology category, said that we should build an IT governance structure to guide the department's IT investments. I'm very happy to report that this recommendation is now fully implemented. The original IT governance committee framework and charter was established in 2022. Since that time, all major software purchases and other IT investments have been reviewed by the committee before submittal to management for approval. The last step that we took to close this recommendation was to develop key performance indicators to evaluate our committee's performance and ensure that it's effective. Those KPIs have now been developed and will be used for an annual assessment to make sure that we're meeting our goals. So, for our summary, this means that 8 of the 13 recommendations are now fully implemented and 78 of the 90 rules are now considered complete. That's an 87% completion rate and a 4% increase since our last meeting. Are there any questions? We expect to have more progress at your next meeting, so we're moving right along.
That's really exciting to see that progress that we've made on that, and just 2 more
Right.
issues, I guess, to deal with. And we're really happy for the results. And I'm sure it's something to hold up to our legislators and say, here's what you asked for and here's what we got, kind of like we did on issue 1, here's what we promised, here's what we delivered, same thing.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Crystal. Exactly right. And our staff's been working hard on getting this done, and we expect to have all recommendations fully implemented, hopefully by the 1st of next year. So great progress there. All right, next up, Jesse Jones, our Chief Engineer for Pre-Construction, is going to give us a bid letting update.
Thank you, Director. Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, since your last meeting, we have had a successful February letting. In our February letting, we awarded 31 projects for $93.6 million. There were 83 bids submitted from 32 different contractors. 22 highway projects were awarded, as well as 9 county projects. Next, I will highlight a few projects. The first project that I would like to highlight is located in Saline County. This project will make westbound ramp and frontage road improvements along Interstate 30. Going from east to west, which is from the right side of the screen to the left, we will add a entrance ramp east of Congo Road overpass, convert the existing westbound I-30 entrance ramp to an exit ramp, which is just west of the Congo Road overpass, and then remove an existing exit ramp located east of Highway 5. Between the exit ramp, the new exit, let me see if I can, between the new exit ramp and the on-ramp west of Highway 5, the frontage road will be widened to 3 lanes. So folks on the frontage road, they can stay within the 2 lanes on the existing frontage road and keep on going. The ramp at this location will be a lane add, so you don't have to merge into 1 lane on the frontage road. This work is anticipated to be completed by mid-2027.
Jesse, I'm excited about that project. That's something
ma'am.
that the community has been asking for as long as I've been on the commission, and Mayor Farmer, and we've got a lot of community support for that to take the heat off of the interstate traffic that's turning around through their local roads. Excuse
Yes,
me.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So the next project will take us to Lafayette County. This project will resurface 13.3 miles of Highway 29 and 160 in the vicinity of Bradley. This project also includes minor shoulder widening on Highway 160. We should expect this project to be completed later this year. Next up is a project in Randolph County. This project will resurface 5.9 miles of Highway 328 northwest of Reno using an innovative treatment called full depth reclamation, FDR. FDR is a pavement rehabilitation technique that involves pulverizing and blending the asphalt pavement along with a portion of the base material to provide a new base layer. A new driving surface is then applied on top of the new base layer. And this project should be completed later this year as well. The last project is in Crawford County. This project will resurface a will replace a low water bridge with a reinforced concrete box culvert south of Mountainburg over Frog Bayou. This project should be completed mid-2026. Looking ahead, we're anticipating 29 projects totaling approximately $42 million in our April 9th letting. And this concludes my report, Director.
Thank you, Jesse. Any questions for Jesse? All right. Next, Rex Vines will give us an update on our construction and maintenance activities around the state.
Thank you, Director. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. For our construction update this morning, I'd like to highlight on the screen here when I actually move the screen. We have 235 active construction projects with a value of $2.7 billion. At this time, we have 13 jobs have been declared substantially complete since our last commission meeting, and these jobs represented $94 million worth of work. We have also paid out $96 million since the last commission meeting. This is a picture of the Arkadelphia bypass in South Arkansas, in case you're curious. This morning I'd like to highlight a couple relatively unique projects that we have going on in construction. I'm sure you noticed the huge scaffolding on the sides and the back of the building. If you've been in the building for the last 2 weeks, you've heard a lot of hammering. It's very loud. It's been kind of hard to concentrate, but in 2009, a portion of the brick facade on this building was replaced due to deterioration of the support, the brick support. That was replaced back then. We started monitoring the bricks and recently had them evaluated, and it was determined that it was time to replace those. And this was originally constructed in 1966, so it had reached its end of life. The work being performed is by Flintco Incorporated is estimated to take approximately 1 year, so we're all excited about 1 year of hammering. They're removing the distressed brick facade and replacing it with a faux brick foam panels. So it's much less expensive to do it that way, and then it will provide improved protection and insulation for the building. They are currently about 15% complete with the project. Another unique construction project is repairing of a failing support wall on I-30 near Benton. The job is somewhat unique in that we were able to utilize our on-call list of contractors to perform this. On July 15th in 2024, crews noticed distress in the concrete pavement. Upon investigation, it was discovered the existing wall was supporting I-30 was beginning to fail. And you can see here, I don't know if you can see it, that doesn't look like a big gap, but that's a tire. So it's a pretty significant gap there. So on July 15th, when the crews reported the distress, we executed a contract in August of 2024 with Geostabilization International for a little over $3 million. And that availability for those on-call specialty contractors really allowed us to get this work done before we got any significant damage to I-30. So that was a great success. Now moving on to maintenance activities. Unfortunately, litter is a continual eyesore along our highways in Arkansas. In addition to our many other highway maintenance responsibilities, our crews regularly perform litter removal. Yet it seems like a never-ending battle. In 2024, RDOT spent over $8 million in litter removal activities. These activities, as you see here, these activities include, are involved in our 3 mowing cycles. We include a litter removal with that. That's approximately $2 million. That's 117,500 acres that is has litter removed from. We have 668 adopt-a-highway groups with 4,700 volunteers. Nonprofit groups such as the Bella Vista Litter Patrol. I think Chairman knows this group well. And then other individuals that work along with the Keep Arkansas Beautiful. We have a county jail inmate litter program. Currently, there are 6 counties participating in this, and they've received $19,000 in reimbursement, and we only pay $2 per hour per prisoner for that. So that's a good deal for the state and for the counties. We have disability work center service contracts such as Pathfinders in Little Rock and West Memphis. And we also have Abilities Unlimited in Fort Smith. And we've had a combined cost with them of $400,000 last year. And then RDOT staff performs 118,000 crew hours last year in litter removal activities. And our cost is our direct cost is about $5 million. Our routine litter abatement efforts include street sweeping, large debris removal along interstate shoulders, picking up bags collected by adopt-a-highway nonprofit groups, jail and inmate litter groups, and along with manual litter collection throughout the year. You know, I know you'll agree it's very frustrating to continue to spend this kind of money on something that is needless. And not only is it very expensive and it takes away from our abilities to do other things, it puts a lot of people in hazardous areas. So this year we decided to try something new to maybe draw some more attention to this problem. So we, on March 19th, RDOT maintenance crews across the state spent the entire day doing nothing but picking up litter. We hope that would be a great visual. People would see that. We hoped we would get a lot of litter cleaned up, and we did. We named this a spring cleanup, and it corresponded with Keep America Beautiful's Great American Cleanup that takes place the spring of every year. And again, we were hoping to draw attention for that, and we'd estimated that we collected 6,150 bags of litter on that one day. Also, since our last meeting on March 14th, severe storms moved through the state, including 12 tornadoes. 2 of the largest were Category F4, so very large tornadoes occurred in Stone, Izard, Independence, and Jackson counties. Major damage was reported in Cushman, Cave City, Diaz, Jacksonport, and 56. Now, for clarification, that is 50-6 in Stone County, not 56, one word, in Craighead County, only in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Overall storm damage affected 16 counties across 7 of RDOT's 10 districts. And as always, our maintenance crews reacted immediately. They were on the road, worked all through the night into the weekend, and just opening the roads, making it safe for people to get to their homes, making it safe for emergency management to get to where they needed to be. So again, always proud of our crews for the effort they put out. They worked tirelessly in these situations. And then lastly, Following the Federal Highway Administration's approval for designation of Interstate 57, our crews began erecting new signage on March 17th. Over 1,400 signs have been made by our own sign shop. District-wide and statewide and district sign crews are working together to install them over the next few months. And that concludes my report.
Rex, I just want to comment and say that I know this is an expensive venture. What did you say, $5 million?
Around $8
$8 million?
Last year was around $8
I think
million.
it's money well spent. You know, and the visitors that we have coming in from out of state, especially, they judge a state by what they see when they cross the border. And everywhere we have a entrance point from another state, you know, I think that they pay extra attention to it. And so $8 million to have a good reputation with all the states around us and traveling public, I think it's well worth the money.
Agree. I just wish people would quit littering and we could spend it on something else.
Thank you for your report.
Do we have any idea, do we have fines? Then do we get to collect the fines for littering?
I don't believe so.
So we do have fines. I think it's up to $1,000 per occurrence. But
Do we receive that
I'm not
money or does
sure.
that go in the general
I'm
fund?
not sure where that goes. Michelle, do you know where that funding goes?
I believe it's through the officer who writes the ticket, so it would go through those counties.
County. So similar to our highway police actions, then it sounds like, so when they write a ticket out there, that funding goes to the county, not to the agency. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Rex.
Rex, I like that that cleanup day. I think that got a lot of attention, and that was I mean, we've tried so many things to get people to stop doing this, and we got to keep trying, but that's a really good one. I appreciate that.
All right, as you've seen, it's been a busy couple months here, and things are moving quickly, and we're so appreciative of all of our staff's hard work in all of our areas. And Rex, please thank those maintenance crews for getting out there and cleaning everything up that day. So I want to go through a few recent updates with you that you'd like to hear about. On March 4th, we received notification from our Federal Highway Administration that our STIP was approved. So that's great news for us. It allows our staff to begin working on those new projects in earnest. So we'll be out there starting surveying work soon on these new projects. So it's really good. We're appreciative of our new division administrator here in Arkansas. You know, Vivian left and took a promotion in Colorado. And so our new DA here is named Gerald Varney, and I'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a few minutes. But he was instrumental in helping us get that STIP approval. On February 19th, the Senate passed Resolution 15 honoring former Director Tudor. It was sponsored by Senator Kim Hammer. Appreciate the commissioners who were there in attendance. It was a great event. Lori was able to talk about the power of partnership with the Senate that day, and I thought it was a really great event and a great honor for a great leader. February 20th, Kevin and I traveled to the SASHTO, or the Southern Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials, mid-year meeting in Covington, Kentucky. This is held each February, and it allows CEOs and other administrative officials from our SASHTO region to get together to talk about transportation issues. This meeting was a great opportunity to discuss recent events, funding events, grants and earmark status, things of that nature with our group and with the national group. So appreciate Kevin attending that meeting with me. A good success. On February 24th, Chairman Taldo spoke at the International Right-of-Way Association quarterly meeting in Springdale. I heard it was a great event. Chairman, would you like to say a few words about that?
Thank you, Director Wiley. It was a very good event. They always have good turnout in Northwest Arkansas at such meetings, and it's very timely considering all the right-of-way and such that we're dealing with in Washington and Benton counties. We like to see who's doing the work on getting the right-of-way procured. I want to thank our two district engineers, Stacy Burge and Jason Hugie, yes, for attending the event with me. and helping to answer all the questions, that always makes you feel comfortable having those guys there, because there's nothing they can ask that they don't have an answer for.
That's right.
And we're always happy to get out and attend these events, especially whenever they have it a half a mile from my office and have it at Outback Steakhouse. And so they're catching on.
Thank you for going and representing us. We appreciate
Thank you.
that. Yes, sir. And those district engineers are a wealth of knowledge, and it's always good to have them there with you. On February 25th, Commissioner Halsey and Kelly Wiley, our Assistant Chief for Program Delivery, spoke at the Leadership Arkansas class. This is Class 19 in Jonesboro. This is a group that's selected by the State Chamber of leaders, future leaders, present leaders, and they travel around the state over a period of 9 months to learn about the opportunities, and challenges that are unique to each region. So we participated in this event for the last several years. I had the pleasure of going last year, but I understand Kelly did a great job, and Commissioner Halsey, you had some great remarks for the group, so thank you guys for doing that for the department.
We'll have to ask Michelle if that's considered hazing. That you look kind of lonely up there on that table. I see 4 empty chairs. Sorry about that, but we appreciate you for doing that.
Get started right?
I guess
That's
so.
right. That's right. On the next day, I got to meet Mr. Gerald Varney, our new Federal Highways Administrator, in person. We had several phone calls, but it was our first in-person meeting. It was a great discussion. He came to the office, and we have met again subsequently in March. We're going to try to do that monthly. But prior to coming to Arkansas, Gerald was in Alaska. He was Assistant Division Administrator there for 3 years. Prior to joining Federal Highways, he worked for West Virginia DOT. During his tenure, he's worked in Alaska, Louisiana, Utah, Tennessee, Montana, West Virginia, and Illinois. So he's been all over the nation, and we're looking forward to working with him. He holds master's and bachelor's degrees in civil engineering from West Virginia. He loves to be outdoors, but he's not able to be here with us today, but we're already enjoying the benefits of him being in Arkansas. On February 27th, I spoke at the Arkansas County Judges Winter Meeting in North Little Rock, shared some department updates, and talked about our funding opportunities in our programs, such as our local bridge program, the Transportation Alternatives program, and Recreational Trails program. So it was great to be there with them and to see many of the county judges that I haven't seen in a while. It was a good event. And after, months of designing, fundraising, collaboration, teamwork on our Fallen Worker Memorial, want to report to you some great news that our construction began last month on the memorial. It's right out here on the northeast side of campus. If you get a chance to go and take a look at it today. But on March 3rd, Kenco began tying reinforcing steel. On March 10th, they excavated the footing, and then the next day they poured the concrete for that footing. On March 25th, concrete was poured for the 2 towers. So I'm going to play a time-lapse video of that operation, and I'll talk about the rest of the monument while that video is playing. Let me try it here, Christy. There we go. And so I can't talk about this project without mentioning just collaboration, cooperation from the Good Roads Foundation, private companies, our commissioners, individuals, employees. We've all given of time and efforts and talents, and we appreciate all that work. We're over the hurdle, and the project, as you can see, is underway. We're expecting to cut a ribbon on this memorial later this summer. We're going to invite all the families of the fallen workers, all the industry partners, everybody who would be interested will be invited, and we hope that everybody can come, dedicate this memorial with us that day. It's just very meaningful to us and all of our staff here at RDOT. So the towers will be poured, they're in place, and then they're going to lift those towers with crane. The plan was to do that in the next couple weeks. With the weather moving in, it may, that area is a little wet sometimes, so it may be a couple weeks after they planned, but those towers will be stood in place, and then the rest of the work will begin in earnest to finish up the memorial. Anyway, great progress. Thanks everybody who's had a hand in that. It's again so meaningful to all of us here. All right, next I went to Magnolia to talk to their Rotary Club on March 6th. Talked about some general RDOT information, updates about the department, projects in the area. Folks always love to hear about when those projects are coming. They love to see those overlays, and we're glad to be able to provide those. We had a good dialogue there with the group, great question and answer session. That's my favorite part of these presentations, is taking questions and being able to try to answer those for the group or get back to them if they stump me. After the event, we got a very thoughtful thank you note from Mr. Darrell Rogers, who coordinated the meeting, and he was very appreciative of all of our staff, District Engineer David Archer. So great group and a good trip down to Magnolia. And then I was in Monticello March 12th. Seeing my old friend Nita McDaniel. Kevin and I worked with her for years on a partnering project in Monticello, similar to what's going on in Benton there. A lot of these projects take years to develop, and oftentimes it's a grassroots effort. And so Nita was able to work to get the Scoggin Drive extension funded many years ago, but went down and talked to their 20 for the Future at their quarterly luncheon. Was glad to be their speaker there that day. Again, talked about our funding and our projects in the area, how we select projects. And Nita was there, and Mayor Jason Akers. And again, they've just been so supportive of the department and what we do, and we certainly appreciate what they do to support the transportation industry. All right, now I'd like to move in. We have two consultant selections we want to present to you today. The first is our traffic data collection services. Minute Order 2024-017 authorized our staff to go out for selection of traffic count program consultant. You may not know it, but we do about 12,000 counts around the state annually. So we count all highways, a lot of city streets and county roads. We use that data for planning and for developing plans for highway projects. And it's the public is a big consumer of that data too. It's really a great data set. We received 6 letters of interest for that effort. We shortlisted 3 firms, and today we're asking for your approval to begin negotiations with the Traffic Group Incorporated out of Baltimore, Maryland. So, Mr. Chairman, if the commission is inclined, I'd like a motion to enter into negotiations with this company.
Do we have any questions before we take a vote on this? Okay, hearing none, do I hear a motion to accept the recommendation of staff?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There you go, Director
Yeah.
Wiley.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, the next one. This one is really exciting for me, and year before last, actually, we've been working on this for a little while. You gave us approval to solicit advertisement for a consultant to build us a geospatial right-of-way data set. So what that means is we're going to be able to go out and see on the aerial map where all the commission property is, the boundaries of all that property, all the detailed information about those parcels, deeds, and all that will be linked into this system. It's very exciting. Looking forward to implementing this. But we got a lot of interest on this one. 18 firms were seeking to work with us on this. We shortlisted 5 firms. Today, again, we come to you with requesting approval to negotiate with the Sanborn Map Company to develop this software for us.
Okay.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, I also have a question.
All right.
How long will it take to implement, to get this up and going?
So once we enter into negotiations, they'll show us their man hours, their estimates on milestones to complete, and we'll know more at that time. The preliminary estimate I'm hearing is 2 to 3 years. Yeah, it's going to take a little time. We
And
have a
will
lot
that be
of.
open to the public, or is that just for our use?
We'll make it available to anybody who wants to see it. Yes, sir. We're open book here. With a lot of the data that you see out there, there are holes where the commission owns property now, and we'll be able to fill in those gaps with this information as well. So
That's great.
It's going to be really good.
Yes, I agree.
Director Wiley, is that on a, I don't even know what I'm talking about, so bear with me. Is this on a Google map whenever it's presented? Will we,
Yes. Great.
I'm familiar with that. I don't know, we don't have to go to some other product out there
Yes.
to.
So, yes, sir. So what we'll do, we'll have our own internal system.
Okay.
Viewer with the back end that's a spatial database. But yes, all this will be exportable into any format, Google to ArcGIS, whatever geospatial software you use, it'll port out to that. So yes, sir. Be fantastic.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second to follow the staff's recommendation on hiring this company to do this project. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
All right. Thank you for that.
Motion is approved, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So at this time, I've asked Chief Holmes, our Chief for our Highway Police, to give us an update about Highway Police, their operation and function. So, Chief, you would come talk to us.
Good morning. Thank you, Director, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, and guests. I'm Jeff Holmes. I'm the Chief of the Highway Police Division of the Department. And I want to give you a little overview of our structure and some of our responsibilities of the Highway Police Division. The Highway Police, or the State Road Patrol, which was the first statewide law enforcement agency, was created by Act 229 of the 1929 legislative session. The legislators saw an increase in vehicles on the roads and wanted a statewide law enforcement agency to monitor the traffic and, most importantly, to protect the taxpayer investment in the highways and bridges. So the 12 officers, I think that's Ross Batson on his first day, right? But the 12 officers were placed under the Highway Commission and were tasked with protecting our roadways. In 1979, after several name changes, the name was changed to the Arkansas Highway Police. So we were the first state law enforcement agency. Later on in 1989, the Arkansas Transportation Safety Agency was another state agency that did truck motor carrier inspections. That agency was abolished by the state legislature, and those duties were transferred to the Highway Police. We've got 5 districts. Each one of our districts encompasses 2 RDOT districts. We got some satellite offices around the state. There's one in West Memphis, one in Russellville, one in Barling, of course here in Little Rock, and down in Hope. Most of the ones besides West Memphis are located at RDOT district headquarters. This is a broad overview of our organizational structure. The first part I'm going to talk about is the first 5 in red there. That's the 5 districts. They're run by captains. Most of them are here today. Some couldn't be here, but each captain runs a district. They kind of similar to a district engineer. They oversee all operations in that district for the Highway Police. Under them, they have lieutenants, which are kind of their assistants, and then we have sergeants, which act like field supervisors. There's 148 sworn officers, 92 patrol units operating in most of those districts, and we have about 48 vacancies. The first district I want to talk about is here in Little Rock is our District 1, which includes RDOT's District 6 and 2. There's 14 counties, 17 officers patrol those counties. There's no weigh stations there. And Captain Scott oversees that. He's got 23-plus years of service with the Highway Police. Next would be District 2. It's Captain John Lamb. He has 17-plus years of service. It's the north central part of the state, which is Districts 5 and 8. And he has 14 certified officers patrolling 16 counties, and he's here with us today. Next would be Captain Jack Stepp. Jack's been with us a long time, 38-plus years. It might have been him in that picture. But that encompasses 15 counties, RDOT's Districts 4 and 9. He does have 4 weigh stations in his district, 2 in Alma that are full-time, and of course 2 at Springdale that are open partially. And he has 18 patrol units, so a total of 29 officers serving under him in that area. Next is our Highway Police District 4, Southwest Arkansas, which is Districts 3 and 7. Captain Harmon, I left her picture up there, but she retired Monday with 37-plus years, so that was her last day, and we're sure going to miss her. But she did a great job, and they have 16 patrol units that she oversaw and 2 weigh stations there on I-30 in Hope. And last is Highway Police District 5, which is in the eastern part of Arkansas. It's Highway Department Districts 1 and 10. It's 14 counties. They have 4 weigh stations over there, 2 inbound on I-55 and I-40, and then 2 outbound on 55 and 40. Have a total of 35 officers and 17 patrol units. The next section I want to talk about is our Special Services section. This is based out of Little Rock here. It's 7 officers and 12 civilians, and it's oversaw by Captain Lewis Hatchett, who is out of our central office here. Captain Hatch has been with us 23-plus years, and he's responsible. He oversees our campus safety here, the security of the complex, our hiring of new officers and retention, our Motor Carrier Safety Assistance Program, which is a federal grant that pays the department for us to conduct inspections, our training program, and investigations, either criminal or internal. The last group on this map I want to talk about is our permit section and our special operations. The permit section and both of those are overseen by Captain Batson. He's been with us a long time, 39-plus years, and most of y'all probably know him because he's led our permit section for a long time. Just recently chose to accept some new responsibilities and special operations. Permit section has 17 civilians that issue oversized permits around the state to move over dimensional loads. Our special operations has it's 18 certified officers and a couple of civilians. They're the ones that are our highway work zone enforcement teams. We call them HEAT teams. It's just an acronym that police officers love. But and also they oversee our K-9 program, our criminal interdiction program, our fleet services, and the maintenance on our weigh station facilities. Speaking of weigh stations, we have 10 weigh stations across the state. 6 are operational full-time. This is probably the most recognizable thing of the highway police. Every truck goes through there, most trucks anyway. 4 operational part-time. In 2024, there was 3.3 million trucks weighed, mostly at our weigh stations. Patrol units weighed some, and we collected just under $600,000 in overweight penalties based on weight violations, tickets issued by our officers. That's one of the few tickets we write that a small portion comes back into the department, and that's by state law. Traffic tickets and the rest of the tickets, they go to the county that they're issued in. Also, a big part at our weigh stations and on roadside is truck inspections. This authority came to us from 1989, the abolishment of the Transportation Safety Agency. In 2024, we screened just under 5 million trucks and conducted just under 60,000 truck inspections. Those are done on roadside and at our weigh stations. And to put it in perspective, about 15% of those trucks were inspected had such serious safety flaws, or the driver had such a serious safety flaws, they were placed out of service. So our officers go out every day looking for unsafe trucks, and they do a great job getting them off the road. And out of those just under 60,000 inspections, they discovered just under 48,000 violations. Another very popular section of the highway police is our permit section. In 2024, they issued just a little over 164,000 permits and brought in just under $18 million in revenue to the department. That picture there is a kiln from 2023. It drew quite the fan base when it come across, traveled through Arkansas. I know Commissioner Hake was there. And the reason we chose that picture is to highlight the collaboration that our permit section does with other parts of the department, our bridge engineering group, our district engineers, our maintenance crews, highway police, state police, local police, the Arkansas Department of Emergency Management. It took over 6 months of collaboration to allow that move. 3 or 4 years ago, that move would have never happened. So it just speaks volumes to the 17 people that work in our permit section and everything they do. Another thing, big important aspect of our job is to assist our maintenance crews out here on the road. In 2024, our officers logged around 8,000 hours assisting their area maintenance supervisors with emergency pothole repair, bridge deck repair, emergency lane closures, roadway closure, ice and snow removal, water over the road. We promote our officers to develop relationships with the area maintenance supervisors and the district engineers. So if they're needed at a last minute, we go and help. And every little bit, anything we can do to save a life, we do. This is to highlight our work zone safety program. This really picked up pace in August of '23 with the passage of the work zone camera bill. I knew it was a big deal when we did it and got it through the legislature with close to 80% support, and Governor Sanders signing it into law. But when you go to different meetings around the country, this is what everybody wants to talk about. How in the world do you get it done? How can we get it done? From the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration to Highway Patrol in the southern region to just today, Texas. So it's a great thing. We have a dedicated highway enforcement team. We call them, like I said, the HEAT team. They work in all these 3 work zones. We have cameras in all of them, and you can see from the data up there, crashes are down in all of them. And 67 and 49 are newer. They haven't been active as long, but it's already making a big difference. When we first attacked the Benton work zone, the officers, the 4 or 5 officers that were sent there to work it, were treated like royalty in Saline County. Everywhere they went, they were thanked. And it didn't take but about a month, and you didn't have to look at the data to know it made a difference, because getting home and getting here got real easy. So I'm real thankful for them and everything they've done. And the final part of the highway police I want to talk about is probably the most internet famous at the time, and the most talked about right now. And it's something that we just brought back, and I'm very proud of their accomplishment. It's our K-9 program. And as you can see, K-9 Officer Max a little more serious than Jackie. but don't underestimate her. She gets serious when it's time. So from the time I started in the highway police in the early 90s, we had a K-9 program, and it went all the way up until mid-2000s. Matter of fact, two of the captains I showed used to be K-9 handlers, Jack Steps here today, and they were nationally known. Our officers went around the country teaching how Arkansas did things to make our roads safer by getting drugs and criminals off the street. It was a sad day when the dogs were retired to their handlers, and we didn't continue on with the program. But thankful to Director Wiley and former Director Tudor, we were able to bring them back. And if you don't believe they make a difference, they started on the street the 1st of February. In the first 2 weeks, highway police seized over 10,000 pounds of illegal drugs. So with that, we have a video to kind of introduce you to the program, and then maybe a surprise.
How much money was that 10,000 represent?
About $38 million.
The beginning of this year, we discontinued it, I believe, in 2000 actually. These are the first two K-9s we've had since then. Me and Sergeant Emmerich both were selected to have the K-9s. We both attended Blue Streak K-9 training in Jonesboro, where us and our K-9 partners, Jackie and Mac, were both certified together. Right. I've been through several schools since I've been employed with the agency, and K-9 handler school was definitely the most challenging, but it's also the most rewarding to see it actually all come together out on the street.
Since we've got out last month, we've already got over 5,000 pounds of narcotics off the street. I stopped a truck for a safety inspection. I ran Mac, he alerted at the back of the trailer, and 4,900 pounds of marijuana was found. I don't think that some of the stops that we've made would have happened without them. Arkansas law requires us to do 16 hours of training each month, no matter what. So you gotta train every day a little bit. We'll get with other agencies and practice on bite scenarios.
You get to feel the actual pressure that the dog applies when they do bite somebody, and it's a lot of pressure. I was bruised up afterwards, but I think it was good for me to feel it. With tracking, the way it would start is if somebody was to flee on foot and they're unable to catch the suspect, the K-9 would be deployed where last known location of the suspect went. You give the K-9 the command, and the K-9's going to track the odor of that suspect to where he went. So it's just kind of nose to the ground, and they're able with their scent capabilities to just pretty much take you right through. As far as narcotic search, we were trained to start from the front of the vehicle. You make 2 passes on the vehicle. Most of the time, if there is narcotics in the vehicle, you can tell by the dog's demeanor will change. The sniffing behavior, they'll close their mouth, and it's almost like a deep breath in, deep breath out. You know, they're most likely in the odor of narcotics, and then once they can pinpoint the exact location, our K-9s are trained to sit and or lay at the odor of narcotics.
Since it started, I feel like it's been very successful, and both me and Officer Murphy are both looking forward to continuing the success.
We have a very proactive administration from the chief, major, director. Everyone in Little Rock is really wanting us to be a proactive law enforcement agency.
It's another tool that at our disposal that allows us to do criminal interdiction, fighting narcotics, and helping other agencies.
We're the only agency that does exactly what we do as far as the commercial vehicle enforcement in the state of Arkansas. Now that we have the dogs, the other agencies do rely on us a lot more.
No, sir.
It's going to be a great asset to the public of Arkansas as far as getting dangerous drugs off the street, dangerous criminals off the street.
And I want to welcome in K-9 Mac and Sergeant Emmerich, and K-9 Jackie and Officer Murphy. Thank y'all. Don't sit, that ain't a good sign.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, officer, for being here today. Yes, Sir.
Chief, you said you had you were down a total of 40-something officers? That's
Yes, sir.
out of how many?
Just under 200.
But you have active about 150. So, I mean, you're, percentage-wise, that's substantial.
It's a lot better than it was, and we're making a lot of progress.
Okay, I was wondering, is this normal?
Well, it used to be extremely hard for the highway police to hire, and it's all on law enforcement generally, but with recent changes and stuff we're doing, we're interviewing now and getting a lot of positive feedback. We're finding a lot more applicants. It looks like we're going to hire more than we've hired in a while, and so we're continuing to push forward, and it's promising. But these guys and gals out here working do a lot with what they have and dedicate a lot with the shorthandedness. But we're in better shape than we were 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yes.
Where do you recruit from?
Statewide. Mostly our biggest needs are in our way stations. West Memphis has always been a big area of need. Hope and Alma is not as hard to hire for as it is West Memphis, but a lot of people want to go straight out on a patrol unit, and why we encourage that, it takes, you go to a way station, you give us a little time, we hire some more people to come in than we spread out to patrol units. So we figured that's the best way to learn our job. Number one is at a way station controlled environment, and then get some experience and get out on the highway.
And with the chief's leadership, we've had some success with social media in recruitment, and also bringing their salaries up to other law enforcement agencies in the state. I think that's been helpful too.
That's been very, very helpful. Very true. We're competitive with other agencies.
Whatever we can do to support you, let us know. We appreciate you.
Thank you. We appreciate the support of the commission and the administration. Y'all are great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And I think a lot of our improvements are a testament to that man and his leadership, the captains behind you guys. I mean, they do a great job leading that crew. And we are going to, come to you soon to talk about some salary adjustments to help us be more competitive. But we'll talk about that more in the future. Thank you all for being here and for what you do. It means a lot to us. All right, let's move on to our upcoming events. We've got a full calendar ahead of us between now and our next commission meeting. April 8th, next week, I'm going to be at the RDOT's Future Leaders meeting. We're doing a new program to try to reach potential future leaders in the agency. And so I'm going to go down and I'm going to do a question and answer session with that group. I'm really looking forward to that, to share my experience with that group and talk about the agency. April 17th, the chairman and I will attend the Good Roads Board meeting here in Little Rock. Work Zone Awareness Week kicks off in April 21st that week. We're going to have an event at the Little Rock Air Force Base that's overlooking our widening project there in Jacksonville. That'll be a good event. April 24th through 26th is it's a lot of words here, National Council of Examiners for Engineering and Surveying, or NCEES. Their Southern Zone meeting is being held in Little Rock. I'll attend portions of that as part of my duties as part of the Professional Engineer Licensing Board. So I'm looking forward to going to that and meeting some people there in the industry. April 30th, I'm going to travel to Branson to be at the Asphalt Paving Association's annual meeting. Looking forward to being with that group and fellowshipping and talking about our program and any issues they have in that industry. We love to collaborate and talk with them about those things at that meeting. May 12th to 16th, I and a lot of our administrative staff will attend the AASHTO Spring Meeting in Hartford, Connecticut. Another good opportunity for us to network and talk about transportation issues at a national level. During that meeting, I do have a Professional Engineers Board meeting that I'll attend virtually the second morning I'm there. June 3rd through 5th, Chairman Taldo, Vice Chairman Gibson, and I will travel to Washington, D.C. to meet with some of our delegation and talk about projects and things that are important to transportation in Arkansas. So I'm looking forward to that visit. Come back on June 6th, the next day, I'll be in Fort Smith at their regional breakfast talking about RDOT and all that we do. The rodeo is, the finals will be June 12th in Central Arkansas. Looking forward to that event. It's always a great event for those operators and their families to come out and showcase the skills. We have a lot of talented men and women here on our crews, and it's just a good time for them to be able to showcase their abilities. June 13th, I'm going to go to Hot Springs to talk with the West Central Planning and Development District at their meeting. And then we'll be back here June 18th for your next commission meeting. So a lot of things going on. A few other items before I close. As you know, we teamed with Tennessee to, we've heard about it before, previous meetings. This meeting, we're going to replace that Interstate 55 bridge there, that vital connection across the Mississippi River for freight and people. Recently, that project was awarded to Kiewit Infrastructure South. We know Kiewit will do a great job. They handle projects of this scope and magnitude very well, so we're excited about them taking on this project. Just to recap, this is the largest grant project, the largest grant award that we or Tennessee have ever received, and it's the largest project that Tennessee has ever undertaken. So it's going to be a big project, and it's a much needed project to protect our infrastructure for the future. The remaining cost of that project, in addition to the $394 million grant, will be borne equally between Arkansas and Tennessee, estimated at about $250 million apiece. We appreciate our congressional delegation for their support and advocacy for this grant. Behind me, you'll see some awards that we received last month. The ones on the left, these are awards we received from the Arkansas chapter of the American Council of Engineering Companies, or ACEC. They had a gala in Chenal Valley Country Club, and our Assistant Chief Engineer of Design, Mike Fugit, was there, and our Division Head of Bridge, Rick Ellis. They were there to receive the awards on behalf of RDOT. We received 3 awards that evening. The first award was for a project that replaced 3 bridges on Highway 133 over Big Creek in Cleveland County near Rison. Michael Baker International, they were the consultant that designed that project, and it was built by Robertson Contractors. The second award was for dock improvements made to our Peel Ferry dock in Marion County. This ferry is the only active remaining ferry service in Arkansas. It takes Highway 125 travelers across Bull Shoals Lake up to northern Arkansas, just south of Missouri. Mobley was the contractor on that project, and it was designed by Garver, LLC. And the third award was for projects that replaced the Highway 51 overpass over Interstate 30 in Clark County. Garver was the consultant who designed that work, and Kiewit Infrastructure South Company built that work. We're thankful for these awards. We appreciate Michael Baker International and Garver for their continued work on many department projects, and we value their work here a great deal. Thank you, guys. All right, on March 17th, the 3 awards on your right side of the table were presented to us from the Arkansas Asphalt Pavement Association at their annual Partnering and Leadership Summit. The Asphalt Pavement Alliance developed this awards system to recognize high-quality pavements around the country. They have 3 categories, and you can see we were proud to report that we received awards in all 3 categories. I believe this is the 3rd year we've done so. The first award is for perpetual pavement performance, and it's on a 5-mile section of Highway 82 in Union County. The performance segment of this award means this original pavement was built many years ago, and we haven't had to add structure to increase the strength over time. This pavement has been out there for decades, and we haven't added more than 4 inches of asphalt to that pavement. So it's withstood the test of time, and we're glad to see it honored with an award. The second award is for conversion. So this award is usually given to a concrete pavement that has failed or has some issues, and it's converted to an asphalt driving surface. So in this case, our Interstate 55 project that Delta Companies is building, we're rubblizing that old concrete pavement, and we're coming back over the top of it using that rubbleized concrete as a base and put an asphalt overlay over top of that. So we're excited to see that 4-mile project win that award. And lastly, we have the Perpetual Pavement Award, Mr. Chairman, just in your backyard there between Siloam and Tawnytown on 412. This is for design, so it recognizes new roads that meet perpetual design standards. Now, we know that road's not new, but we widened it a few years ago, and that new piece qualified for this award. So glad to see that. APAC Central built this project several years back, and I want to thank Park and his team over at AAPA for all your partnership with RDOT. And speaking of partnership, we have 3 more special guests here with us today, and I'll introduce those guys in a minute. We want to make a habit around here of recognizing good work when we see it, and we've teamed with AAPA to issue partnering coins to individuals who do just that. We want to collaborate, enhance safety, communication, innovation, and excellence in this program for our asphalt project. So 3 of our employees, I'm happy to report, received partnering coins last year, and they're here with us this morning. If you guys, when I call your name out, if you would stand and be recognized. We got Kyle Battenfield, we have Joe Ferguson, and Robert McCollum. Appreciate you guys for being here and for your service to RDOT. If you'll humor me, I'm going to read a little bit from your award submittal. So we'll give you a little more recognition here, and thank you for your service. So in September, Kyle Battenfield, our senior inspector for Fayetteville, he was awarded the partnering coin by APAC Central for his work on our Weddington Interchange project. So I'll read you a paragraph from his nomination. APAC says Kyle's proactive approach and decision-making in the field have been instrumental in accommodating our paving schedule and assisting in the timely completion of this project. His willingness to address issues as they arise, especially during our night operations, and his consistent communication with our crews have been invaluable. Kyle's efforts have ensured that we can continue working with minimal delays, demonstrating a commendable commitment to the project's success. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for your commitment to excellence. All right, in November, Mr. Joe Ferguson, our senior inspector in Paragould office, he was awarded a coin by the Delta companies for his work on that Interstate 55 project I just showed you in Mississippi County. Delta companies said if Joe had concerns about anything on the project, he was always pointing them out and working as a team to resolve the issue. If Delta had issues, he was just as open to hearing and seeing their concerns. A prime example was one time they swapped traffic into Stage 3, and there was a concern early on as to how the taper at the end of the job was placed. After discussing the situation, Joe was willing to help us create a safer work zone for the traveling public and for our construction workers. On this project, we had 2 bridges that had to be elevated to create more clearance under them. These bridges were closed to the traveling public for 30 days. During this time, Joe worked diligently to resolve any unforeseen situations that arose. Even as we were in the final hours of completion, which was rather late in the night, Joe was there to ensure that the work performed and was done in accordance with the specifications. So thank you, Joe, for your service and your dedication. And in December, Mr. Robert McCollum, our senior materials inspector in the Osceola RE office, was awarded a coin by Delta companies as well. Delta says, Rob is always willing to listen to any of our concerns or suggestions and addresses them as necessary without bias and in a timely manner. His commitment to ensuring the quality of the products that are being used to build and construct highway projects mirrors our own. On multiple occasions, he has shared his knowledge and experience with QC technicians to help them become more efficient and confident. Specifically with proctors, as our technicians have limited experience since it's a test they don't perform on a regular basis. Rob conducts his testing and promptly provides results, giving contractors valuable data that enables them to monitor the products being produced and ensures that the highest quality products for projects are being used. He has gone above and beyond to witness technicians sample asphalt from trucks and discusses proper sampling techniques to minimize variability in sampling between contractor and RDOT, which results ultimately in test data being representative of the products being produced for the project. So thank you, Rob, for your service. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for being here today. And Commissioner, you know, we're just thankful. We're blessed with such great staff, and we wish we could recognize them all today, but we're glad to recognize these three gentlemen. At this time, I want Dave Parker to give you a brief update about our Street Smart program.
Thank you, Director Wiley. Street Smart, just to give you a quick update and recap, it's our brand new campaign aimed initially at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students. The goal is to teach them the benefits and importance of first being a safe passenger and pedestrian, in hopes that that translates into them being a safe driver. 8th grade is, as I know, father of an 8th grader, right on that cusp of becoming a driver. So it's a scary thing, and we're hoping this campaign will help them become a better driver. There's a team here at RDOT working with our consultant, CJRW, working with the Department of Education. We've been busy meeting since last October, discussing, and now we're at the point of creating scripts for 13 different videos that you will see. Some will be seen local broadcast media market, but more so for curriculum purposes. We're at the process now of reviewing those scripts. Once we get through that, the consultant will create the videos. They'll create curriculum, handbooks, things that teachers can use in the classroom as they seem, as they choose. Department of Education certainly is with us on this. They set the standard that we have to hit. CJRW has to hit to make sure that the curriculum is up to par. It's a very aggressive goal to get this campaign started. We're looking at this coming school year. You may recall that this is modeled somewhat after the Georgia Department of Transportation implemented a similar program just about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and former Director Tudor saw it and challenged us to take it on, and we're doing so. Once these videos are approved and the production starts, the faces of the campaign will be 17 to 22-year-olds. They have they'll cast those characters, if you will. Once the scripts are approved, they'll shoot the videos, and away we go. The goal for this is to, of course, one day expand this to younger, K through 7 or K through 5, excuse me, and then, of course, into high school, with curriculum being a little different based on the age. I hope by the June Commission meeting that the videos will be done or nearly done so that I can show you a sample of it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer, but it's a good campaign, very important campaign on a very aggressive schedule. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Wiley. Is there any other business from our commissioners today? I appreciate everyone being here today, and thank you to those watching on our live stream. I would be remiss if I didn't, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning. Commissioner Keith Gibson is here, but he's here virtually. He wasn't able to be here today, but he has been participating virtually. And I just wanted to say that T-shirt's really nice, Keith, and those swim trunks. You didn't know that camera was on there, but anyway. And I also would like to mention one thing that really just came up this morning. I was watching CNBC this morning, and they're all talking about tariffs and tariffs this and all over the place. And Director Wiley, have you all given any thoughts maybe to analyzing how these different tariffs on steel and different things like that may affect our budget and operations?
Yes, sir. It's on our minds as well. I think over the last few bidding cycles, we've seen prices stabilize. And so we're wondering what these tariffs may do, especially to some of our steel and those types of projects, bridge projects. So we're going to be taking a look at that, Mr. Chairman, and trying to gauge what impacts might be. And we'll look at that and report back to you next commission meeting. Ultimately, I think that next bid letting is going to be quite telling for us. And we'll be talking about that as we travel to Connecticut to see what other states are doing as well. Yes, sir.
Good deal. I appreciate y'all staying on top of the news because it travels fast today, and the ramifications travels fast.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank our staff for doing such a good job putting everything together today. And without objection, that will conclude our meeting. Everybody have a wonderful day.